Waiting for relief in the insurance crisis. So many of you are still trying to navigate the coverage collapse. Those in control in Tallahassee say they're working on cutting our costs, even as many still see their rates rising. A woman from St. Petersburg standing before state officials and saying what many Floridians may be thinking about with insurance.
But if it goes any higher, we're probably going to have to sell as well.
Stopping rates from going higher is proving to be a long game, as CFO Jimmy Petronis has said.
I said we needed 12 to 18 months for their corrections to take effect. And here we are at month 14.
Petronis is talking about the reforms to insurance litigation that lawmakers have targeted as a primary cause of our soaring premiums. And South Florida has led the pack.
If you took three remaining counties, and that is Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, the average propensity for a litigated claim was over 27%, or over 1 in 4 claims were litigated in an area of the state that had not been impacted directly by a catastrophe in over a decade.
Insurance Commissioner Michael Jaworski says cases in this area are now down in 2024, and a large reason, these state officials say, there is now hope to create some competition.
8 new carriers coming to the state of Florida. One is about to be announced. They'll be our 9th carrier. No other state in the country is seeing this type of interest coming back in the Florida market.
Petronis is urging patience, saying the signs are going in the right direction. Insurance companies are turning a profit, some asking for small rate reductions, Citizens getting smaller, and reinsurance getting better.
I think, as the commissioner alluded to, the rates are going to stay flat, maybe up a little, maybe down a little. Citizens is in the market for reinsurance right now, so I don't want to say too much.
One issue in the state of Florida that is not going away right now is homeowners insurance. A lot of people still suffering with high rates, canceled policies, citizens insurance questions, and even some people talking about leaving the state of Florida because the cost is so high. Mark Friedlander, a valued resource we have here at WPTV on the field of insurance, is with the Insurance Information Institute. He now joins us via Zoom. Mark, good morning to you.
Thanks so much for having me today, Matt.
Okay, so let's start with an overall view right now of the outlook of the insurance market in Florida. About a week ago, the Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Petronis, said the signs are pointing in the right direction. Where do you see things from where you sit at the Insurance Information Institute?
If we take a snapshot of where we were a year ago heading into hurricane season, the overall condition of the Florida property insurance market is much stronger. Companies are in a better financial position. New companies are coming into the market. Depopulation of Citizens is going very well. And rates are starting to moderate some, according to at least some homeowners we've heard from. A lot of positive signs.
By the same token, though, these positive signs, and you're right, there have been some companies that have actually put in for some rate decreases, modest, though. We're talking about small percentages here. I was still talking with homeowners this week in West Palm Beach, and they're still getting renewal notices with increases. One gentleman in particular stood out for me, $1,000 more, and he's a veteran on fixed income. So, I mean, it's very incremental, I would think, these positive signs we're seeing right now. Would you agree?
Overall trend positive, but still some negative signs as well. Large renewal bills, people being non-renewed by their company. Some companies are going through significant non-renewals right now. We're hearing about that. Many customers still can't find private market coverage. They're landing with Citizens. And we just saw a new report this week that shows Citizens policy count is actually up, not down, despite the very successful depopulation, meaning they track this basically week after week. So they show that 5,000 new policies were written by Citizens just in a week.
Well, that's a lot
for 1 week.
That's a very interesting point, because Citizens had been, as you mentioned, undergoing a very aggressive depopulation program. What do you see any underlying reasons as to why Citizens numbers are now on the uptick?
Well, the overall net result is Citizens is down about 300,000 policies from last October when they were roughly 1.4 million or so. So the overall count is down, but we're seeing a creep up now because there's still challenges in the market. I think one of the reasons that's driving this latest wave of new customers for Citizens is the non-renewals. A couple national insurers are in the process of non-renewing right now significant amounts of policies across the state. I think that's what's driving it, to be honest.
Okay, and we also have news of all these new companies that are coming in, roughly at least eight, maybe 9 new companies coming into the state of Florida. What do we know about these companies? Are they going to universally write policies, or are they going to be pretty selective about who they insure?
Our understanding is the new companies coming into the market will be very aggressive in marketing their companies to the public, meaning they're going to be open for business. And we haven't seen any indications yet that they're going to be restrictive. Like we saw in past years, many companies writing limited policies, especially in South Florida counties. We're hoping these companies will be very open to business in all areas of the state, including South Florida. Some are already writing. You could check with your independent insurance agent to see if they're available. Others will be here soon. And these companies are, while some might be called startups, many of them are actually parts of existing organizations here in Florida, meaning they're subsidiaries. So they have operating structures already in place. A couple of them are already writing business in other states. So these companies pretty much have track records, and you could check their financial standing and ask your agent to do a little more homework for you.
And we should point out the reason, or at least what the CFO says, the reason these companies are coming into Florida is because of these reforms that were enacted in December of 2022 regarding litigation. The CFO, when he had his roundtable in Clearwater, actually said that there's indications that a lot of these lawsuits are down. They're trending downward now. And these insurance companies are having a more favorable view of Florida right now.
Clearly, the legislative reform has opened the doors to new opportunities for companies to come into the market where they think they could be very successful in writing profitable business. However, the lawsuit environment, yes, is better, absolutely, but we still have a lot of litigation that was filed previously. In fact, when we looked at data this week from Hurricane Ian losses, the largest volume of unsettled claims is South Florida. Why? Because there's more litigated claims in South Florida than any other part of the state. And that's very typical for all types of issues, especially hurricane losses. More lawsuits filed in South Florida than any other part of the state. Still a problem, but getting better.
And Mr. Petronas, the chief financial officer, said initially when these reforms were passed, he needed 12 to 18 months. We're now in month 14, as he said. Do you see this on schedule? I mean, a lot of people waiting at home want to know when that relief is going to come in the mail in their renewal notices or when they shop for insurance.
It seems like the schedule is pretty much on track from what was predicted after the legislative reforms were passed, but there's still going to be some issues where insureds are going to say, why did I get such a big bill? Not everybody's going to see relief, but the overall trend is positive and it will continue to get better.
All right, very good. Mark Friedlander, thank you for joining us on To the Point and giving us an update on the Florida insurance market. You have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.